United States, with entry points at hundreds of airports, harbors, and along a border of more than 100,000 miles, is protected by the Department of Homeland Security, including the Transportation Security Administration, the U.S. Coast Guard, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and Customs and Border Protection, including the Border Patrol. This is Border Security USA. Blaine, Washington. Nearly 7 million people cross here each year from Canada. Its unique location at the intersection of a major interstate freeway and the Pacific Ocean makes it popular with Canadian citizens coming to the United States for work or vacation. Today, Officer Bicker questions an Iraqi national who says he's coming to the U.S. to go shopping.
Any U.S. currency?
No.
He's a Canadian citizen. He's born in Iraq, spent most of his life in Iraq. He went to Indonesia about 8 years ago, claimed asylum with Canada. He's lived in Canada for the last 6 years. So do you have any people that you'd like to meet down here?
No.
He didn't have any maps at all of the U.S., no maps of Seattle. He had no shops in mind. And that's just not usual for someone who's going to go shopping on a one-day trip. We're going to have you go back to Canada with all the totality of the circumstances. And, accompanied with gut instinct also, we wanted to just deny his entry into the United States. The procedure I have to do now is an administrative procedure. I was in the middle of trying to get Mr. Hassan sent back to Canada when it was brought to my attention that another individual, born in Iraq, Canadian citizen now, claimed asylum in Indonesia, came across the border probably about 50 minutes after, and that's really rare. You don't get that twice in an hour.
He was claiming that he was going down to pick his sister up at the airport coming from Houston.
The two men deny knowing each other.
So we started comparing cell phones for the two individuals and noticed that they'd called each other 3 times this morning.
And they both know each
Both of
other?
their phone numbers are in each other's cell phones.
What put these two Iraqi nationals at the same border crossing less than an hour apart? Coincidence or careful planning? At the Isleta port of entry in El Paso, Texas, a pre-primary operation team consisting of a drug detection canine and 2 CBP officers patrolled the lanes of traffic arriving from Mexico.
The canine, with its sensitive sense of smell, can get into areas that the officer can't see, so it's a great tool. So it allows us to meet our double goal here of keeping traffic moving, as well as...
Suddenly, our interview is interrupted. Over in lane 1, Darko the canine alerts to an SUV attempting to enter the U.S.
The canines are very well trained, and when they alert, it's almost always a sign that there are drugs there or there were drugs there recently.
What makes this incident even more shocking is that the driver is traveling with his wife and 2 small children.
It's sad, but they figure they can use the kids, and we may look the other way because they are a family.
The SUV is moved into secondary inspection. It appears this family's excursion across the border has taken a disturbing detour.
And your narcotics are in there.
Here at Pittsburgh International Airport, the Transportation Security Administration checks the IDs of more than 5 million outbound travelers each year. It's not every day that the TSA comes face-to-face with an MIT student eager to engineer an unusual experiment.
I read online that there's a law that I don't need to show my ID whenever I go through a security checkpoint, so I wanted to test that today. So right now I'm going to go through and see if I can get through without an ID.
The moment of truth has arrived, and Benjamin is about to put his high-priced MIT education to the test.
No, I'd like to exercise my right to not show my ID.
It's a crash course in border security. Will Benjamin pass or fail? Arizona. The Air and Marine Interdiction Team routinely flies support missions with the Border Patrol, searching the rugged Sonoran Desert, a hotspot for illegal immigrants crossing the border. But for one member of this team, tonight's flight is anything but routine. It's Agent Milne's last night here before moving 2,000 miles away to a different branch of Homeland Security.
As of Wednesday, I'm going to be transferring over to the Air and Marine side of the house, and I'll be working with the boat crews out of Florida. Florida's my home, that's where my family is, and I have the opportunity to go there, so I'm definitely taking it.
The darkness provides cover for the illegal immigrants, who often wait until night to make their move. For the Blackhawk crew, this only increases the dangers and challenges to find them.
Our job is providing air support for primarily federal law enforcement. Right now, our customer tonight is the Border Patrol.
Yamaha, it's Tango 260 with GSR, group of 12.
Their first call, 12 illegals spotted in the desert.
We're going to be responding to GSR, ground surveillance radar. And it's basically a guy in a truck with a special kind of radar that will pick up movement, and he can use a laser to point them out.
The laser can only be seen with special night vision goggles, part of an arsenal of cutting-edge technology.
I'm pointing the laser right on him.
The Blackhawk's powerful light quickly pinpoints the 12.
Hey, agents working with Omaha. We've got the group on the left side of the helicopter in the spotlight. Agent on the ground, you got 2 more behind the big tree to your right, 9 degrees right.
The hardest thing on the ground is probably when you have the helicopter can see everything, and they're trying to tell you to go to a certain spot, but on the ground it doesn't look the same.
To your immediate right, 10 yards, 5 yards.
When you have light coming down from a helicopter, it creates shadows, so when you see from the helicopter, you'll see people walk by without seeing the people that you're trying to get them to. It gets frustrating in the air, it gets frustrating on the ground, and eventually it works out okay.
The first call ends with the swift apprehension of 12 illegal immigrants, but the next one will put Agent Milne at risk, as he must leave the safety of his chopper to help stop a much larger group from escaping. New York. Each year at the JFK International Mail Handling Facility, officers screen more than 22 million packages mailed from around the world. In the war against terrorism, officers are especially on alert. Any package could contain a serious threat to Homeland Security.
We got mail coming from a high-risk country, from Afghanistan. Looks like it might be weapons.
A rifle from Afghanistan. Is this part of a plot to smuggle weapons into the U.S.? At New York's JFK International Mail Handling Facility, a CBP officer has just discovered a suspicious package from Afghanistan.
Looks like it might be weapons. Over here, you have the actual piece, the flintlock that you would actually pull back to fire off the ball and cap. That one's heavy. It's got 3 weapons in there. It's a little bit heavier than the rest of them. Probably, it looks like it may be a replica. This really isn't operable. Yeah, so I would say that this is a good representation of an antique. We knew that we had a shipment coming in from the Military Airlift Command out of McGuire Air Force Base. Anytime you have combat zone area, you're gonna have a propensity for personnel trying to mail weapons back. The Afghanis make a lot of replicas there, and they sell for like $120, $150 a rifle. Service members get them and they send them home, to hang on their wall as a memento from being in Afghanistan. It just turned out that today, everything we did was actually antiques or replicas, antiques made by the Afghanis. So everything was fine.
Meanwhile, in Blaine, Washington, 2 Iraqi nationals who tried crossing into the U.S. less than an hour apart claim to be total strangers. But their cell phones tell a different story.
They called each other 3 times this morning.
And they both know each
Both
other?
of their phone numbers are in each other's cell phones. So.
Yeah. So at this point, what we're going to do is separate them. We're going to interview both of them, see what story they are going to give us.
What kind of work do you do in Canada?
Barba.
How do you know him?
You come to my shop too.
The story is that this guy's his barber. And they've known each other for 8 years. Are you planning to meet with your friends? Do you have a specific place?
No, I said let's call me. It's the second person who came through an hour after the first individual. He had problems before entering the United States. He had been refused entry.
Last time we kept 9 hours. Other time we kept 8 hours. So it's really frustrating.
His original story was that he was going to pick up his sister who was coming in from Houston. He was hoping it would facilitate his entry.
Right now, no.
He does have the relatives in Houston, but she's not coming. You understand that that's a lie.
The reason why he claimed to not be meeting anybody in Seattle is because he had been refused entry into the United States before. He recommended they take separate cars so that if one of them got hung up, the other one could still come down to go shopping.
We're going to have you have a seat out in the lobby, and just don't talk to your friend out there, okay?
When 2 individuals are traveling in separate cars, there's a time distance between them, but they're both planning on meeting somewhere at the same time in the United States. It shows to me they're trying to hide something.
Back in Pittsburgh, Benjamin, the MIT brainiac, is moving ahead with his own personal game of Are You Smarter Than a TSA Officer?
No, I like to exercise my rights. I'm not sure. A requirement of an ID is a bit of a gray area with the government and with TSA, so I'd like to know, am I actually allowed to fly without an ID? Hi, are you the supervisor
Yes, I am.
TSA? Can you tell me whether it's legal to fly without showing an ID?
Yes?
It is legal to fly without showing an ID?
Yes.
Okay.
People get them lost and stolen all the time, right?
Okay.
He's trying to use the passenger rights against us. You know, oh, this is what, you know, now you can't make me do any more than this. Yeah, okay.
Well, but I can, you know, it's my right to say no, correct?
Okay, and I have the right to put you in selecting screening. You'll get a little extra screening.
I think that if you refuse to show an ID, you should certainly be checked. You know, that's a little bit of a red flag. Yeah, I'm fine with the screening. I have nothing to hide.
So, well, then, if you have nothing to hide, why don't you show me your ID?
Arms out. Thank you. Well, when somebody wants to come in and not show their ID, it takes like so much time. It causes them probably about an extra 15, 20 minutes. So it's just better we just come in and do what we ask them to do. It would take you 3 minutes to get through your screening, if that.
As we started to screen him, I found his wallet, and as I found his wallet, there was an ID as soon as we opened up the wallet.
Maybe next time I'll hide my ID a little bit better and see if they can find it.
So what exactly have we learned in class today?
You're always suspicious of something that's supposed to be done that doesn't want to be done by an individual who comes in to do what they know is supposed to be done, I guess.
Easy for you to say.
I think we proved that the law is that you don't need an ID to fly on domestic flights.
If you're thinking of trying this at home, don't. There's now a new requirement that states if you don't show a DHS-approved photo ID, you may not be allowed to board. And no, Benjamin's experiment had nothing to do with this change in procedure. Back in the desert skies near Tucson, the Black Hawk crew receives multiple reports of illegal immigrants on the move.
In the Silver Bell area, I have an agent with a bailout. Are you able to go to that area?
You're good with that, right?
Let's go.
Omaha unit, copy Charlie 10 on BP West. Go ahead. Yes, we got Charlie 6 on the ground. They're waiting on a possible 46 backpackers. If you can assist them real quick.
Let's do that first.
Omaha, you're flying right over top of me. I've got 2 agents on the ground following 8. If you can help them out real quick, you're right in the area. Oh, man. Okay, Roger, we'll help you out with that real quick.
Some nights it's going to be completely quiet, and some nights like tonight, it's one right after another. You have to prioritize which one you're going to go to.
They choose to pursue a large group that has just crossed into the U.S. from Mexico.
Due to the fact that these guys are so close to the border, because when you get out, we're just afraid that they would scatter back south. It was my thought, my idea, my decision to go ahead and put them out and keep running south, getting away. Okay, now.
Agent Milne leaves the chopper and joins the ground search. He now must cope with a new set of dangers, the pitch-dark unknown.
Ground agent supporting the Omaha. We dropped off 2 of our agents, and they're 10:15 just off your nose.
So we landed close to the group. We put our 2 agents out. They kept them and ended up apprehending them, then waited for the ground guys, the guys on the ATVs to come up and pick them up.
Yeah, I think we got them on.
Well, I'm always in apprehension mode, but as soon as you make the apprehension and you discover that they're in distress, I mean, I have the ability right then and there to, facilitate IV or call for advanced med direction, whatever I need to do to get these people out of here.
Somebody's wearing reflective shoes down there.
Isn't that nice?
I always love it when they do that.
The count continues to grow as more and more illegal immigrants are apprehended with the Black Hawk's air support.
We're thinking about wrapping up the evening right about then, and there's another call from another GSR.
60 plus.
For Agent Milne, this will not only be remembered as his last night, but as one of his biggest nights patrolling the skies. El Paso, Texas. A canine alert on an SUV has landed a young couple and their 2 small children in a holding area. Officers are about to find out what has alerted the dog.
We were able to look in there and they were able to see a black bundle.
See right there on the top where it says the black pipe?
Looks like it's going to be Mary Jane.
That's how it's covered. And your narcotics are in there. There's your marijuana. And this is where your dog alert was on pre-primary. As you can see by the scratches.
Using their spouse and children as cover to try to get drugs in. That's just despicable.
When we found out that it was a family involved with kids, it really hurts. Of course, they are crying because they really don't understand what is going on. And that is one of the saddest parts of our job.
Usually what they'll do is they'll build up a compartment from the floor down to put more narcotics in.
It smells like marijuana.
It's going to be a very good load. Seems to be the entire floor is loaded.
Officers must now determine how much pot is stashed inside and who packed the vehicle for this family road trip. At the El Paso port of entry, officers have discovered bundles of marijuana hidden inside a secret compartment of an SUV. The only way to remove it? Call in the dismantler.
They're the best at what they do. And that's dismantling vehicles, tearing it apart. They know compartments. They've been doing this for so long. So they have all the appropriate tools to get in here and take it apart. Once we find the trapdoor or anything, he gives us a heads up that the dope is there. So we're the ones that actually start dealing and handling the dope. They just provide access to the dope for us.
That's a large quantity. If you get this much dope at one time, you're actually hurting the drug dealers. And we are also protecting our country.
Officers have finished searching the SUV and are removing the last of 199 smuggled bundles of marijuana.
What we got here is the final total weight on the seizure. It's 208.4 pounds.
After being interviewed by agents from ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, no charges are brought against the mother, who's released with her 2 children.
The ICE agent determined that she didn't play a part in this. She might have not known what was going on.
But the children's father is booked on felony drug charges, and if convicted, faces up to 5 years in prison.
What we saw today at this port of entry is a real good illustration of the challenges we face. We saw a family unit smuggling marijuana, so there is no single profile of a smuggler. We've got to be wary of pretty much everyone who's coming across the border.
Back in Blaine, Washington, CBP officers have grown increasingly suspicious about 2 Iraqi nationals who have come across the border nearly 1 hour apart and lied about not knowing each other.
We're looking at him because the one subject has been refused by us before and looked at on security-related grounds. And once we refused him, he went to Vancouver to the airport, tried to get in. He was refused entry there and has family that's associated to terrorist ties.
The first subject, there was not that much information out there on him. So since his ever-changing story and reason for entering the United States, we decided to deny his entry and allowed him to return back to Canada.
All right, we got an international number. We were able to gather more facts and confirmation from sources within the government on that second subject that we weren't able to obtain last time.
The associates found through his phone have been able to be tracked down.
We have credible evidence that people he associates with and or family members are associated with terrorism. The second subject was charged with security-related grounds under the Immigration and Nationality Act.
Although not arrested, the second suspect is shown to have terrorist ties and is given a lifetime ban from ever entering the United States.
We don't just tag people with the associated with terrorism on a daily basis. We really have to have a lot of proof.
Remember what I said, do not come back to the United States.
It's always a good day when we can stop somebody from coming into the United States that maybe want to cause us harm. And as you can see, it mostly developed from an officer's instincts on the line. He didn't like something, he sent it in, and this is where it goes from there.
In the skies over the Sonoran Desert, Agent Milne's final night with the Tucson sector of the Border Patrol is drawing to a close before he relocates to Florida. But there's still one last call to respond to, one that catches everybody by surprise.
Yeah, they keep coming up, guys. I think we got more. Yeah, we just...
Arriving on the scene, they find agents chasing more than 60 illegal immigrants scattering in all directions. Their eyes in the skies become even more critical for this pursuit.
Go left, more. He's in the trees. He's a backpack. There's one guy laying down. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I got a couple more here.
Oh, shoot, we got a group right down here.
Yeah, we're at
Two agents going together right here. There's a whole group. No, he's picking those up. Okay. He's picking those up. Jeez.
Sounds like the desert's coming alive tonight.
Yes, it does. Man, this may take a while.
Crappy place to land, too.
And we're getting low on fuel. What else is wrong?
The weather's nice.
Hey, there you go.
And the company's great.
Exactly.
Tonight started pretty quick. I mean, right when we got out the gate, there was a call for an assist. We went there and we got those first 12 illegal aliens crossing. And right on the tail end of that, rounded up those, same number, 12. And on the tail end of that, we got another call. We ended up with 19. And we were thinking about wrapping up the evening right about then. And there's another call from another GSR. And it turned out to be about 75 people we rounded up. So in the course of 4.5 hours, we got 120, 130 people.
This night provides a memorable end to Agent Milne's Border Patrol career before he is reassigned to the Florida Marine Unit.
A little. I've had some fabulous adventures and made some really great friends. I'm not leaving them, I'm just relocating. I'm sure we're going to stay in touch and work together in the future.
Bill's a good guy. He's always good to have around when you have searches, med calls. He knows his stuff in both. We're going to miss him on our team.
The mile-long Peace Bridge connects Fort Erie, Canada to Buffalo, New York. It's the second busiest northern route into the U.S.
Mr. Budak, how are you? Good. Where were you attempting to go today?
Canada. Immigrate into Canada.
Today, CBP officers encounter a Turkish national, Mr. Budak, and his family, who are attempting to immigrate to Canada from the U.S.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some information. We have a Turkish...
Officer Pasqualetti calls Canadian Border Services.
And we're just trying to find out what the issue was with him, why he turned around, because he has a Canadian immigrant visa.
What we've discovered is the reason he was not actually allowed entry to Canada today was due to the fact that he was traveling with a large sum of money, $12,000, which in fact he failed to report, which is required by the United States law.
You wanted him to declare the money to us, and that's it. He's welcome to come back. So you're going to admit him. There's no other issues. There's no criminality, nothing like that.
He has an immigrant visa for Canada in his passport, and if all goes as it appears now, he'll be removed to Canada today.
As officers process Mr. Budak's paperwork, they make a startling discovery.
What's your current immigration status in the United States?
Since 2006, and I was staying here illegally.
Did they allege that you were not legitimately married? Is that what happened?
Yes, that's what they said.
So then the judge eventually ordered you deported based on a fraudulent marriage and you had no status in the United States.
So the judge already deported him, but he never left. He violated the law, and he got caught.
They charge you on two fronts. The overstaying in the U.S., you were illegal in the United States, and also marriage fraud. You actually go to jail for that.
He should pay for what he did. He violated the law. He should be punished for that.
I did one stupid mistake, and then because of that stupid mistake, it cost my whole life.
Will this Turkish national be trading a new life in Canada for time in a U.S. prison? Back at the Peace Bridge, CBP officers have a Turkish man in custody. As he was trying to immigrate to Canada with his new wife and baby, officers discovered he was actually ordered deported years earlier for marriage fraud involving a different woman, but he never left.
It happens a lot. They get married to a U.S. citizen, they leave their citizen after 3 years, then they get married to someone from their culture.
I ended up getting charged for fraudulent marriage, fake marriage stuff, and I shouldn't get that. And look where I am.
He was placed in removal proceedings and has been basically a wanted person pending that deportation order since.
So today,
authorities decide the deportation order will be enforced by allowing Mr. Budak to immigrate to Canada.
I appreciate it, guys. I just want to tell you guys that I made a really stupid mistake before.
Hopefully we've explained everything, and good luck. We'll be with you in a few minutes, okay?
All right, good luck.
So the judge already deported him, but he never left. So now we're just reinstating him so he can go back to Canada, and now he knows he was physically deported from the United States.
Because of the marriage fraud, he got a bar for life, and he won't be ever allowed into the country of the United States unless he has a valid waiver to enter the U.S.
All right, sir, here's your documents. Canada is that way.
Oh, thank you.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Everyone, say that they're not going to come back, but everyone knows the United States is a place to be, and they all eventually come back. They'll lie, but we'll catch them.
Officer Jan would not have to wait long to see Mr. Budak again.
Step in here and have a seat. Mr. Budak has returned. He attempted to immigrate to Canada. Unfortunately, there was a further complication in his entry to Canada. He did not have enough funds to meet their minimum requirements for new immigrants. He has approximately $12,250, and he needs $15,500 basically, I think is the number to satisfy the Canadian requirement.
I don't know what am I going to do right now. I don't know.
This certainly poses a problem for our disposition of the case. If he's unable to make an immediate departure from the United States, we will in fact have to take him into custody, and he'll be removed likely to Turkey.
The checkpoint at Falfurrias, Texas is located 80 miles north of the Mexican border. Nearly 300 commercial buses pass through here each day. Passengers are screened for drugs and proper travel documents.
These buses, they get them at border towns inbound for Houston, San Antonio, somewhere into the United States. And they don't need an actual immigration document to board the bus, but in order to travel into the United States, they do.
Agent Rosas discovers two men, Eric and Eric, who apparently haven't thought out the finer points of their adventure, like what to say when agents check their documents.
$7 en dónde? En el consulado de Matamoros. ¿Estás seguro? Sí. Porque acabo de llamar a esos números y regresan que son falsos. ¿Son falsos? Sí.
The short stroll from the bus to the Border Patrol station is more than enough time for the two Erics to rethink their story.
¿Dónde los compraron, chavos? Allá con la ¿Cuánto pagaste? 600.
The two individuals are citizens and nationals of Mexico. They have a border crossing card which entitles them to enter the United States legally, but no further than 25 miles, just for visit and shopping.
If they want to travel beyond that, they have to get 994, which they could purchase at any port, bridge, or anything like that. But what these two gentlemen did was they purchased these, but not at the bridge. They were false. They're false stocks. And according to them, they each paid $600 for it, which at the bridge is $7. $6 to get the permit.
Íbamos a Houston a trabajar. De visita. De visita. Iba a trabajar. Ponte de acuerdo. No es que estamos felices, pero pues es que ya no tiene caso estar tristes porque pues ya qué más da. ¿Sí me entiendes? O sea, no tiene nada de caso ya ponerse triste ni ponerse a llorar. Fue nuestra culpa.
Ya saben que les vamos a cancelar las visas porque salen estos que son falsos. Okay? For them presenting these as true documents, what we need to do is cancel their visas. So no van a ser deportados con cargas, nada más lo vamos a regresar. ¿Entiendes?
Sí, nosotros sabemos que es nuestra culpa por haber hecho algo así, porque bien podríamos haber ido a solicitar un permiso, pues teníamos todo en regla, pero bueno, quizás la ignorancia de uno mismo. Saludos a mi mamá, y a mi papá también. Pero nunca me imaginé que el permiso no fuera a ser bueno, porque la señora nos aseguró que era bueno. Entonces, gracias a la señora esta, nosotros perdimos nuestra visa y perdimos todo, porque ya no puedo ni pasar para acá.
So, the two Erics are put back on a bus. Next stop for their roadshow, Mexico. San Bernardino, California. One of the tasks of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, is to track down illegal immigrants wanted for defying final deportation orders. Today, agents are planning a stakeout at a trailer park. Their suspect, a male illegal immigrant.
Well, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. So
if you see a big fat bald guy riding a bicycle, that's probably our guy.
Make sure we cover this guy on a full 360. That way, if this guy is stupid enough to run, there's nowhere to run.
Now, obviously, if he runs, I mean, he's not going to be the fastest runner in the world, being his size and everything else, but he may put up a fight, so let's make sure we got a lot of people there to take him down and make sure we do it safely.
We had information that he was physically abusing his mother from various neighbors calling in, saying they were hearing yelling and screaming. Let's roll. Our fugitive operation team here go out, locate and arrest fugitive aliens who have absconded from a final order of deportation from an immigration judge.
He leaves early in the morning, he does construction, and he should be coming home between 4 and 5 o'clock, so hopefully we'll encounter him coming home right now. All right, guys, we're looking for space 273. It's right here on the right-hand side. Door's open. Right here.
Got it. Do we see a bike anywhere around here?
That's where she says he stashes it when he's home.
He's gonna come through here.
While we were conducting surveillance, there was a black car that showed up. The person that was in the vehicle driving it was similar to the person we were looking for. There it is. It's right there. Black Cutlass. See if we can get a visual on who's in this car.
That's him.
It looks like him. Yeah, 10-4, Frank.
We're right behind them. There appears to be a female, possibly juvenile, in the back seat. Looks like they're laying down. So I don't think this guy would be foolish enough to do anything, but you never know. You copy that? Dude, that's him.
It looks like him.
Hey, we're gonna make this stop right now.
He's pulling
right here. Yep, light it up. Light it up, light it up. Light him up, light him up, light him up. Use your hands.
Put your hands out the window. Put your hands out the window.
Turn the vehicle off, sir.
Okay. Let me see your hands. Stick your hands outside the car.
Got my daughter.
In San Bernardino, ICE agents have pulled over a car which they believe contains a fugitive they're searching for.
Put your hands out the window. Put your hands out the window.
Turn the vehicle off, sir.
Go ahead and turn the vehicle off right now. Okay. Let me see your hands. Stick your hands outside the car.
I got my daughter.
I know. Go ahead, step out of the car.
Step out of the vehicle.
Transfer your back for me real quick. I know. We'll figure out who you are right now.
Okay. You just match the description of somebody we're looking for? Okay. Here you go. Who you with here? My daughter.
Is this your daughter in the car?
Yeah.
Where do you live at?
Right here on the trailer park. Space 34.
Space 34?
Yes, sir.
You appear to be a prisoner we're looking for.
Yeah, I understand.
Are you currently on parole probation right now?
Do you have any outstanding warrants right now, sir?
Nope.
Okay.
Clean.
Okay. Hey, what's the full info on our guy? Full name, everything. First name of Gilberto, and I have a DOB on him as well.
Do you have any other family members, any brothers, sisters?
I have a brother.
What's your brother's name?
Oh, Carlos Agundes.
And where's Carlos live at?
Space 273.
Let's go for it. He's good. He's got a green card, IR2. After a thorough interview with the subject, it turned out that it was our person's brother that we in fact came in contact with. And we were able to interview him, determine that his brother was residing at the location that we had information about, and that he was here in the United States.
The stakes have been raised. Will the fugitive get word that ICE agents are tracking him and flee? San Isidro. Everyone must show ID to enter the U.S., but one dogged traveler may have finally beaten the system.
As I was conducting my inspection at the booth, I was, very busy, and this officer next to me said, "Hey, there's a dog in your booth." I said, "What?" You normally don't see dogs through the pedestrian tunnel or the pedestrian facility. Usually they don't like to be where there's so many people. She was just walking around, kind of looking at things, surveying things, it seemed like, and she didn't show any documents, and she didn't wait in line like everyone else, so she wasn't completely compliant, and then again, she entered without inspection, and that is a violation. She kind of looked into the U.S., and I think she figured out that this wasn't the place for her, and she went back to her own country, but I wasn't about to stop her.
At the Peace Bridge border crossing, things are not going well for Mr. Budak. He's been denied entry to Canada because he lacks enough money. The requirement is $15,500, and he needs another $3,500 to meet that amount.
I don't know what kind of luck do I have. I'm just praying to God right now, just get relaxed and just calm down. They might put me in jail. That's what I'm really stressed about.
If Mr. Budak had followed all the rules and not violated the law, he certainly would not be going to jail or being deported to Turkey today.
With deportation to Turkey a real possibility, he has one last option.
All I need is just some certain amount of money, which is $3,500. And now my brothers bring it to me. And then I'm gonna go back to Canada again.
He's hoping to have his brother, who's a United States citizen, meet him here within the next couple of hours to provide additional funds that he requires to meet the Canadian requirements to become an immigrant today.
Now I'm begging them to just stay over here 2 hours. That's all I need, two hours maximum.
Hey, what's the full info on our guy? Full name, everything.
In San Bernardino, ICE agents on the trail of a fugitive have mistakenly pulled over the man's brother.
Looks identical to his brother, but we didn't let him know that. So he's going on his way right now.
Agents return to the trailer park and wait for the fugitive to arrive. Their hope? He has not received word of their stakeout.
Dude, I thought that was that guy in that car.
Yeah.
They look...
The similarities are
they're very... Yeah. Roughly it's 5 o'clock. Based on the information we've gotten from our informant, our guy should be coming home at this time, so we're going to sit and wait it out.
He wanted her so bad. Pharmacies over there, they'll dump all their old, chemicals and stuff in there, and everything that's not legal here, they basically do it down there. So
illegal dumping, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Come on, dude, Clint, pull in.
Frank, nothing yet, no movement, nothing come out of the house, no signs.
We say next 15 minutes he's gonna come home. difficult part is you never know, who may be walking by you, riding their bike by you, or, possibly driving by. These people, they change up their characteristics to try and avoid apprehension by us.
Suddenly, a call. ICE agents staking out the other side of the trailer park have spotted a man on a bicycle who matches the description of their suspect.
I made contact, I asked him what his name was, where he was headed to, possibly where he lives, things like that. There's a numero. 273. Okay. All right. We're with Immigration and Customs, okay? We have a warrant for you, all right? So we're going to take you into custody right now. Fortunately, he did reveal all the information that I needed to verify that was our subject we were looking for. He has a significant criminal history, so it was real beneficial that we got here and brought him into custody. So we'll set him up for what's called the reinstatement of removal, and he'll be back in Mexico tonight.
The suspect was immediately deported back to Mexico.
Good job, Frank. If it does give you that adrenaline boost, you can keep yourself going for the rest of the day.
This is what we get paid for. This is the rewarding part of the job.
Back at the Peace Bridge in Buffalo, New York, time is running out for Mr. Budak, who is trying to emigrate from the U.S. to Canada.
All I need is like $3,500, that which my brother's bringing. So I hope I'm gonna get out of here.
He needs $3,500 soon, or he faces deportation back to Turkey.
As much as you're a nice guy, hope to never see you again. Unless I go to Toronto.
Please, feel free to, come and visit us. We'll be happy to do it. Please, anytime.
I'm going to Canada right now, and I'm gonna establish everything again over there. From zero, from nothing.